Hey guys, I decided to do a part what is this? Part 4 the video. I just want to make sure it was recording. So I wanted to go over that scoring tool again, scoring guide, and better explain that. And I wanted to go into my Capstone and go through my second attempt. I had to submit an assignment, a second attempt in my Capstone. So I want to go in there, and that's where I will better explain the scoring tool. I want to recommend instructors that I enjoyed having, that I think you guys will enjoy also. And I want to talk about the example papers. I didn't speak on that much. And your discussion board, I want to speak on that. It's not assignments like you have to post in discussion boards. So that's that. Those of you who are new to this channel is not professional. I get on here and upload a video when life permits me to do so. That's why some of my videos I look a little bag lady-ish or whatnot, because it's not a beauty page, beauty channel. You know, it's not professional. I just get on here when I get a chance to try to give information that I've obtained and try to help others, which in return help me. So I speak about my journey from associate's degree, and I will continue all the way up to DNP. So let me go ahead and get started because I don't have that much time. So I wanted to go. This again is the order that I took my classes, and I'll let you guys know the order that I suggest. So the first one is the 4,000. You can't change that. You have to take that one first. And Janet Simmons is one of the instructors that I recommend. And so after that, I went on and took, this is orientation, everybody has to do that. After 410, I skipped to 430, and after 430, I went back to 410, 420, 440, and then I skipped 450, and I completed 460 first, as recommended by Very Vanessa on YouTube. So after 460, I went and I completed 450 and then the Capstone. My recommendation, because I got great grades here in 460, and I didn't get better grades by taking this class first. So I would recommend doing, oh my gosh, I would recommend taking class 4,000, 430, then 410, 420, 440, 450, 460, and then your Capstone. So different strokes for different folks. It may have helped Very Vanessa, even though she didn't go that route, and she had recommended going that route. In her opinion, she was saying that she think that doing 40-60 first will prepare you for 450. For me, it wasn't the case. So I would say just go ahead and do 450 and then do 460. My grades were better. I had great grades. I think I had 3 100% and a 94. So, and we'll click on it. see. For a 60, I did it first. Oh, I had 4 100% and a 97%. So I did that first, and then I took for a 50, and it was supposed to, very Vanessa suggestion was she thought it will help you prepare for a 50 and do better in that class. Well, I got 2 100%, a 94, and a 96. All A's though. But seeing that, that's why I said I don't recommend going out of order. You can just go in the regular order. Do 450 first and then 460. In my opinion, it wasn't that helpful. Okay, so now let's go back. So that's the order. So now let's go to the capstone. So here's the capstone. Evaluated twice. So let's go there. View assessment. Click on it. Give you all the instructions. All the instructions that they want you to, how to prepare, all the instructions, and then you view the scoring guide. So let's go over the scoring guide. Here is the criteria. It's telling you this is what I want you to write about. Remember, I told you this is not your opinion. These papers are not your opinion. It's all research based. So this column is what they expect from you. So let's go ahead and read the first one. The criteria. Explain ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. So these are your grades. Non-performance, you did not understand what they were asking. Does not identify ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. Here, you get a basic grade. Identifies ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. So you did that part, so it was basic. You didn't really do all that it was asking here, and we'll get here. Proficient. Explains ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. Distinguish. You nailed it. 100%. You got it. Explains thoroughly ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. So that's just basic. You did that. Notes how the leadership approach contributes to improve outcomes or could be modified to address challenges. So you did these two, plus you noted how the leadership approach contributed to improved outcomes or could be modified to address challenges. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the criteria, and these are your performance, which gets you your grades. Okay? So your first paragraph, after your introduction paragraph, or After your introduction paragraph will be explaining in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. Also notes how the leadership approach contribute to improved outcomes or could be modified to address challenges. So you need all of that in that paragraph, or however many paragraphs it takes you to talk about it. In another paragraph section, demonstrate process improvements in the quality, safety, or cost of care as a result of direct clinical intervention and developed professional product. So, non-performance does not describe quality, safety, or cost of care improvements. Basic describes quality, safety, or cost of care process improvements, but does not fully demonstrate them in the context of a direct clinical intervention and a developed professional product. Proficient, you understand. It's just not, you didn't do it 100%. So, demonstrates process improvements in the quality, safety, or cost of care as a result of direct clinical intervention and a developed professional product. Distinguish, did all that. Demonstrates process improvements in the quality, safety, or cost of care as a result of a direct clinical intervention and a developed professional product. But you also make explicit reference to data and evidence to support relevant improvement. So you specifically talk about what the author said. You got the resource. Where'd you get this information from? That journal, that article, whatever it is, whatever the author name was, you say John Doe speaks about blah, blah, blah. You make explicit reference to data and evidence to support relevant improvements. So, your third section, demonstrate patient experience improvements resulting from a clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product. Non-performance does not describe improvements in patient experience. Basic describes but does not demonstrate patient experience improvements or does not do so within the context of both a clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product. Proficient demonstrates patient experience improvements resulting from a clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product. Distinguish, 100%, demonstrates patient experience improvements resulting from a clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product, making explicit reference to data and evidence to illustrate relevant improvements. So the same with the other one. You talk about specifically what they said. Your next session would be to justify decisions related to developing a professional product with relevant research, evidence, and best practice. Non-performance does not justify decisions related to developing a professional product with relevant research, evidence, and best practice. Basic attempts to justify decisions related to developing a professional product, but research, evidence, and or best practice are insufficiently relevant. Proficient justifies decisions related to developing a professional product with relevant research, evidence, and best practice. Distinguish justify decisions related to developing a professional product with relevant research, evidence, and best practices. Notes criteria used to determine the relevance of the supporting evidence. That means you note your resource. You specifically talk about the resource that you used and how it helped you make your decision, justify your decision. And then the last will be communicate professionally in writing that is clear and logically organized with correct grammar, spelling, and use of APA style. Does not communicate professionally in writing that is clear and logic organized with correct grammar, spelling, and use of APA style. Basic communicates in writing that is unclear or poorly organized and or contains error, grammar, spelling, and or APA style. Proficient communicates professionally in writing that is clear and logically organized with correct grammar, spelling, and use of APA style. Proficient. Distinguished. Communicates professionally in writing that is exceptionally clear and well organized with correct grammar, spelling, and flawless use of APA style. So this is also referred to as the rubric, even though it doesn't say it. So basically, these are your paragraphs, and you have to make sure you have all of this in that paragraph that you're writing. And so if we go back, this paper is to be 2 to 4 pages. Cite 5 sources. So you can write a 2-page paper. It should be 4 pages, including your title page and your reference page. I think I wrote like 5 pages. I just was like, I don't know. So now let's go back to my feedback. And I'm going to show you guys how horrible I did. Attempt 1. I sounded like the Minions. I was like, what? Look at this, guys. Non-performance. Basic. So I got 2 non-performance areas. So when I told you they give you all the feedback you need, so they try to encourage you also. So Angela, hi Angela, you did a nice job with this assignment and it is relevant to today's nursing practice. Your plan aimed to transfer current practice in your organization by increasing patient safety and quality of care. Your evidence-based rationale was succinct. I meant to go on YouTube to pronounce this word. Succinct. I don't know, but anyway, and explain your rationale for choosing your plan. You referred to scholarly literature to guide you in developing your plan. Your clinical hours were confirmed in core elms. I have a few questions about several of your criteria, so see my feedback in the scoring guide. Please highlight your revisions if you are going to resubmit. Okay, so how did the feedback you received after communicating your plan proposal influence further implementation of this project? So the first thing, does not identify ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. I thought it was based on the patient, so I was lost here. So you identified the health problem and tailored the plan to the patient's need. Did you do this education with anyone? How did you lead the project? How did you collaborate with others during the project? What were the results of the education? Did anything about your plan need to be changed? So I took those questions, and you don't have to answer all the questions. They're just throwing some ideas out there. So I answered the question, did you do this education with anyone? and I changed it, and I was saying I educated the client or whatnot. How did you leave the project? And I changed that to saying that, actually I'll show you guys exactly what I did. So I did good here. I justified decisions related to developing a professional product with relevant research, evidence, and best practice notes, criteria used to determine the relevance of the supporting evidence. I did that. Okay, non-performance. Does not describe quality, safety, or cost of care improvements. What product did you develop? How did you develop the product? Did you work with a patient, population, or family member in the implementation of this product? What did the literature say about what you should include in the product? What did your author say about the effectiveness of the product, of this product? How do you expect your intervention to improve quality and safety for patients? How do you expect it to reduce cost of care? Please submit the product. So I did that over, and I understood that she was basically I tried what I told you guys before. It's all evidence-based research. Like, I came up with something myself, and so when I redid it, I went about it a different way. I went and researched something to develop a product. So when I researched something, then I was able to resubmit it and say, hey, this is the product that I developed, and John Doe in his article said that this product will help reduce cost, safety, quality, blah, blah, blah. See, everything you say have to be backed up. Somebody had to do the research and prove that what you're saying is what it is. It has to be backed up. So just like going to the doctor's office, your doctor can't come in there and just give his own opinion, like, oh, so your hand it hurts when you try to move your fingers, oh, you got arthritis. No, he has to do some research, and he has to have evidence-based. He have to have some evidence to prove that is what's going on with you. You know, so they get a group of people and they do studies or whatnot, and that's how they come up with this evidence-based, peer-reviewed articles and journals that doctors and practitioners and everybody go off of. Nobody is just coming up with this stuff in their head. Somebody is out there in the field. That's their job, to do the research and put it in the system so people can have access to it. Doctors can have access to it. Students can have access to it. So I had to redo that. So basic. Describes but does not demonstrate patient experience improvement, or does not do so within the context of both clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product. What were the results of your intervention? How will the results of this project be measured? How will you know if interventions will be successful? What scholarly resource did you use to support your assertion? So I missed all that. So you have to make sure you're not making stuff up, and you got something to back up what you said through research. And that was fine. So let's go back. So does not describe quality, safety, or care. So 2 paragraphs. Let's see. This is my first attempt. I want to go to it. So 4,900. Are we in 4,900? And this was the professional product. So this was this is the one I redid. Oh, maybe I can't see my first attempt then. Okay, so I went back in there, and this was the first one. Let me leave the scoring tool up. Well, this is the new scoring tool. I want to get the old scoring tool. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back to the old scoring tool. Close round. $4,900. Oh, I had to do this one over too? Oh, that must be. I don't remember that one. It had to be easy though, because I don't even remember doing that one over. No. Okay. One. So, non-performance does not identify in which ways leadership of people and processes is utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan. So, I changed it. Okay, so this was the old, what I had for that. I didn't erase nothing, I just added what I improved, but this is what I had first. During the process of collaborating with SG to implement a care plan to include interventions, goals, and outcomes, open and honest communication were the key factors used, ensuring that SG was involved in all decisions was imperative in creating a care plan in which she would adhere to. Communication via FaceTime and home visits were utilized to collaborate with SG to create a care plan. Follow-up assessments to see how interventions were affecting her safety and health. Phone calls were also utilized to answer any questions that she had. The continuation of communication after the care plan was created and during implementation had a positive effect on her motivation to adhere to interventions to improve health outcomes. It's all about the patient. It did not answer what she was asking of me. Probably close it out. Damn it. Okay, anywho, let's just go back to it. So I redid it. It wasn't about the patient. So while designing an intervention and implementation plan, leadership of people and processes were used to establish best, relevant, and realistic outcomes. Ethical leadership was utilized, and that's supposed to be assured that the patient was involved throughout the process of designing the plan and goals to assure autonomy and beneficence. I think that's how you pronounce it. I led the project. Remember, the question was, how did you lead? Blah, blah, blah. I led the project by also including strategies for communicating and collaborating with the patient to allow for safe, reliable, and effective care. Other strategies included the theoretical model, stages of change to help the patient implement change behavior. So that was evidence-based. After collaborating with the patient and educating her about her condition, the communication strategies and stages of change model, implementation and interventions began, and the outcome to increase her blood pressure was met. So I explained ways in which leadership of people and processes was utilized while designing an intervention and implementation plan, right? Intervention plan, leadership of people and processes were used to establish best, relevant, and realistic outcomes. I used ethical leadership, and I led the project by including strategies for communication and collaboration. And I also included the trans-theoretical model, stages of change. So then the other thing that I got mixed. So after I completed that, the added information, this was her feedback, the added information demonstrated leadership and collaboration with others in order to accomplish your goals. You identified the health problem and tailored the plan to the patient's need. You discussed how your plan should improve outcomes for the patient. So this was basic, I believe. So it said describes quality. Oh wait, no, this was a non-performance, wasn't it? I just have to open it back up because I want to be sure for you guys. Okay. So the assessment. I can't see my time. I got it covered up. Are we already at 31 minutes? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Non-performance. Attempts to justify. Okay, safety. I had got not. That was the other one I got non-performance on, and then basic was improvement of patient experience. Okay, so does not describe quality, safety, or cost of care improvements. Let's go to it. Process of improvements. The process improved patient safety, quality, and cost of care by eliminating cost of medication by implementing self-care and management interventions. Improved safety and quality of care by increasing blood pressure, which prevents falls and also decreases cost of care. For example, falls could lead to hospital bills. After researching evidence-based articles for important need-to-know facts to improve patient outcomes, I worked directly with the patient to develop an educational handout about the facts of low blood pressure, and also an educational handout which includes directions to check blood pressure at home. The desired outcome that the patient and I agreed upon was to increase blood pressure by increasing fluid intake, salt intake, exercise, and eating 6 small low-carb meals a day. An article titled Spinal Cord Injury Complications, Orthostatic Hypertension 2019, published by SRALAB, reads that dietary changes such as drinking more water, increasing salt intake, eating smaller low-carb meals, and lifestyle changes such as exercising increases blood pressure. After interventions, the patient's blood pressure increased and the patient's outcome to increase blood pressure was met. So here I specifically stated where I got this from. I didn't just make this up. Like the desired outcome, I didn't just make up, where it will increase fluid, salt intake, exercise, and eat 6 small carb meals. Even though you may know that to work, you still can't just put that without citing where you got that information from. Who told you that? How do you know that's going to work? Who did the research and said that it's proven to work? So that's that. So this was my original hand. It was just a hand. It was just talking about blood pressure, like explaining more in depth about her condition. And I was giving her a handout saying, this is more about your condition, and these are other ways that you can control it, other ways that we didn't discuss. So I thought that would be sufficient enough, but it wasn't. So I redid it, and I said the product is Understanding Hypertension handout, an article published by uwhealth.org titled Orthostatic Hypertension. No date, reads that. So I didn't come up with this by myself. That's where I got it from. It's evidence-based. It's proven. Somebody did the research. One should check their blood pressure once a day and suggest checking blood pressure before standing from a lying or sitting position, which will allow the patient to see if their blood pressure is low and also if they are dehydrated. This intervention will alert the patient not to stand and to drink water. The article included a handout. Like, I didn't just come up with this. So the article included a handout on how to properly check orthostatic blood pressure at home, which I have utilized to develop a professional product to give to the patient to educate her on how to properly check her blood pressure to improve safety, quality of care, and cost. So I didn't come up with this. This is evidence-based. So this should give me a 100% checking orthostatic blood pressure at home. Lay flat for 5 minutes. 2, after 5 minutes, check your blood pressure while still laying flat. 3, write your blood pressure reading number down and slowly move from a standing position. 4, stand for 1 minute. Take your blood pressure again and write it down. 5, after 3 minutes of standing, write blood pressure down again. If you experience any of these symptoms, sit down right away or call your doctor. Dizziness, weakness, blurred vision, headache, nauseous, fatigue, heart beating fast. So that was a product that the patient, it was an educational product. So that was my improvement. And so this was supposed to be a 2 to 4 page paper, and it ended up being a 5-page paper. Like, it did not, it should have been, it could have been done in 2 pages. Like, everything I had in yellow was all I needed to put. So this was, let me see, I need to close some of this stuff out. So basic. Describes but does not demonstrate patient experience improvement, or does not do so within the context of both clinical intervention and implementation of a newly developed professional product. So my professional product. So patient experience. The patient now checks her blood pressure every morning before getting out of bed and records the reading on a chart and drinks 16 ounces of water. She has not had any falls. Her blood pressure has been normal for her, I'm supposed to say her, and she reports less episodes of dizziness since the implementation of the interventions. So somewhere in here. So describes but does not demonstrate patient experience improvement. Since the implementation of a newly developed professional product. So that is how she improves. Since I gave her my product, my handout, educating on her how to check her blood pressure, she now checks it every morning. This is her experience after my professional product. She checks it every morning. She records it. She drinks water now. She hasn't had any falls, and she reports less episodes of dizziness. So that's how we improved it. And I added my reference, my new reference. So that's that. So I hope this made some things a little more clear about how to understand the rubric / scoring tool and understand what they are asking of you. While we're here, we might as well look at this one, problem identification. This was another 2 to 4 page paper. I remember having to submit this twice, but I did, so let's check it out. The first one. What did I do? Okay, a basic and a non-performance. Does not identify evidence from the literature and professional sources to define a guide proposed nursing action to address a healthcare problem. In reviewing your literature from different scholarly authors, how did their views regarding the nursing problem you identified compare with each other? Did they all seem to be on the same page? Was there an author that offered a different point of view? What pros and cons did you note for the nursing action identified? Did you note a nursing theory or conceptual framework used in any of the literature? So I just didn't. Let me go to it. 4,900. Where are you? Y'all see 4,900? Oh, there it is. Problem identification. Y'all see, after I did it, I got 100%. Redid the professional project, 100%. Redid the problem identification, 100%. But I'm going to click on here and see. So at first I didn't talk about the authors and what they said and if they agreed or whatnot. So I redid it. I said, while analyzing evidence from the literature and professional sources to define low blood pressure and to guide nursing actions to address low blood pressure, the conclusion was that the sources cited all agreed that dietary and lifestyle changes, for example, increase of salt in water and frequent small low-carb meals, will have a positive effect on blood pressure, causing an increase in blood pressure. The sources cited also agreed that exercising have a positive effect, causing an increase in blood pressure. 4 out of 6 agreed that blood pressure can be self-managed without medication. The sources that list medications as treatment options are the 2 articles published by Mayo Clinic titled Orthostatic Hypertension, Postural Hypertension, and Low Blood Pressure Hypertension. But all sources agree on the treatment outcome and intervention that was implemented in the care plan. The sources help guide the intervention implementation in the care plan. The stages of change model by Prochaska and Clementi also guided nursing actions to address low blood pressure and to encourage change. So at first I didn't talk about the authors. I just put the stuff in there and I didn't have anything to back it up. So I redid it. Okay. Where is it? Okay. And then basic. Propose strategies that are irrelevant to selected health problem. What a bummer. So let me see. What did she say? Upon reviewing the scholarly literature, what did the authors say about how to solve your health problem? What leadership style could be used to address this health problem? What strategies should you apply to address this problem? What do the research studies say about the effectiveness of the strategies that have been tried? So once again, you have to speak on. You can. So this is what I said at first. Interventions that help prevent episodes of low blood pressure includes focusing on fluids, increasing water intake, increase salt intake, eat more salty foods such as tomato juice, support legs and or lower belly, wear compression stockings, thigh highs or waist highs are good options, being that knee high stockings may bunch up or tighten, cutting of blood flow, which causes discomfort, or wear a abdominal binder and move legs, raising legs up and down while sitting. Strategies when blood pressure dips low, 2015. That's what I had at first. And she was like, what did she say? She was like, it was irrelevant to my healthcare problem. Like, what did the literature say? Like, let's do some more research, Angela. What does research studies say about the effectiveness of the strategies? The effectiveness of the strategies, like, so then I changed it. People usually change behaviors on their own when they are ready to do so. The theoretical model, stages of change. That's where I got that from. The transitional model, stages of change, was used to assure that SG was ready to change her behavior, specifically the diet change, because she is accustomed to eating a certain way, and she explained that she does not like drinking water. During the transitional model, stages of change, the individual progressed through 6 stages of change, which the stages are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and termination. During the I'm not going to read all that. I break down each step or whatnot. And then I give the rationale. The rationale for using the trans-theoretic model is because, as previously mentioned, people change when they are ready to change. Incorporating this model to guide the proposed nursing action will encourage success of the goal to reduce blood pressure and it's supposed to be increased blood pressure, and assure that SG is motivated to do so. By encouraging her using the trans-theoretic model and reminding her that the ultimate decision to change is hers, autonomy will help achieve positive outcomes. So I basically told her, this is the model that I use to help the client change her behavior. Like, just because you say that, you know, these things will help or whatever, that wasn't good enough. Like, yeah, this stuff might help, but what methods did you use, that you find in your research that you use to prove that this would actually work? And you will actually get the patient to follow your care plan and your interventions. So I had to redo that. And that wasn't that bad. So that was that. So what else I want to talk about? So I explained the scoring to the second attempts. You guys seen after I did it, I got 100%. right? Let me close some of this stuff out. So, oh, this was after. Is this the one? No, that was the other one. I don't think I opened it. Did I? This was the basic. No, I didn't open it after I resubmitted it the second time. So resubmitted the second time, and here was the feedback. Distinguish, 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 everything. So the added information used your analysis of your literature review to help you suggest strategies to help solve the problem, and you discussed why you think these strategies will work. So I got it improved. Is that it? That's all the feedback. So, oh, here it is. The added information, reviewing several scholarly sources that are relevant to the nursing problem you identified and compared the evidence in each article related to hypertension. Your review of each article was comprehensive and included the pros and cons of evidence identified. So, hi Angela, the added information in the second attempt met the distinguished criteria. I hope this assignment helped you to flesh out your nursing problems so that treatment options become more visible. These assignments really helped a lot. Like, it made me a better nurse. I will tell you that, a better informed nurse. So that was that. So we did that. So my instructors that I recommend, I like Deanna Golden, and I like her because of the specific feedback that she give you to improve your paper. She asks you a lot of questions, and just, you don't have to answer all the questions. You can pick one, you know what I mean, and then add that to your paper to